communicate through the mind.
Do you remember?
I remember when we knew that we was divine.
Do you remember?
I remember when we lived with no space, live with no time. I remember how our skin used to glow, our skin used to shine. When we used to meditate off the sound, when we used to levitate off the ground. I remember how we used to get down. I remember my crown, I remember it now. I remember it how, said I remember when, said I remember when, said I remember when.
Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember?
I remember when the goddess ruled the universe, when everything we did was our first, planting the seeds to humanity, creating great skies and great season, great oceans, great lakes, pot ground with earthquakes. Let it rumble and shake and cause you to wake, pineal gland activating a deep mind state. Now let's elevate, now let's levitate. I said let's elevate, cause I remember when. Understood the principle of source energy.
Do you remember?
I remember when we used to heal with our inner chi.
Do you remember?
I remember when we used to do this so naturally.
Do you remember?
When all we knew was divine in our divinity.
Do you remember?
When we live beyond our physical life in our liberty, we are purely, we are truly, we are energy, we are the light you see, we are the light you see, we are the light you see. Ashe, 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 oh.
Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember?
I remember passage rites of a deep mind state.
Do you remember?
I remember universal rituals to elevate.
Do you remember?
I remember when I said it all started deep in the motherland. I said I remember the chanting.